Hey everyone, welcome back to Know My Go channel. Today is February 13th, 2026, and we've got a stacked AI news roundup for you, from Apple's struggling Siri reboot, to Google's web browsing AI agent in Chrome, to new security tools, faster embeddings, and even AI-generated apps from nothing. Let's jump straight in. First up, Apple's big AI assistant reboot is hitting another speed bump. This news comes from Engadget Tech News and was released on February 12, 2026. According to Engadget, Apple's long-delayed AI-powered redesign of Siri is reportedly behind schedule again. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman says that in internal testing, the new Siri has been kind of a mess. We're talking slow response times, tasks taking way too long, and in some cases, Siri just not processing queries properly at all. Apple originally showed off this revamped Siri back in 2024, pitching it as a much more capable assistant. Think finding specific photos, tracking details, updating contact cards, editing photos, and even summarizing notes into emails, basically moving closer to a ChatGPT style AI agent that can actually do stuff for you, not just set timers. It was supposed to roll out to iOS users in 2025, then got delayed. Bloomberg had previously reported it would arrive in an iOS 26.4 update around March 2026. Now, Engadget reports that Apple is switching to a piecemeal rollout. Some features in March with iOS 26.4, more in May with iOS 26.5, and the rest with iOS 27 later this year. An interesting twist here. In January, Apple confirmed that Google's Gemini models will help power the new Siri. Apple said, after careful evaluation, that Google's AI gives the strongest foundation for Apple's own models and the experiences they want to build. So the new Siri isn't just late, it's also relying on tech from its biggest mobile rival. And this delay is being echoed in other coverage as well. This next related news comes from Unwire.hk, a Hong Kong tech news site, and was released on February 12, 2026. Unwire reports in Chinese that the upgraded Siri integrating Google's Gemini is running into problems, causing yet another delay in Apple's AI roadmap. The article highlights that Apple and Google struck a deal to bring Gemini in as the engine behind the new Siri, but that integration hasn't gone smoothly. So, from both Engadget and Unwire.hk, the picture is Apple's trying to turn Siri into a modern AI native assistant using Google's Gemini under the hood, but the real-world performance isn't ready yet. At the same time, other players are pushing forward with their own AI agents, which brings us to Google's side of the story. This news comes from Ars Technica's AI coverage and was released on February 12, 2026. Ars Technica tested Chrome's new Auto Browse agent, basically an AI that can surf the web for you. You give it a go, like find me the best hotel deals for this weekend, or collect documentation for this API, and the agent automatically clicks links, navigates pages, fills forms, and gathers information. The verdict from Ars: Auto Browse is capable of some genuinely impressive things, but it can also crash and burn spectacularly. In their testing, it handled some structured tasks pretty well, things like navigating documentation, websites, or doing simple research, but it also got confused, clicked the wrong things, went down irrelevant rabbit holes, or just failed to complete the task. So while Apple is struggling to get Siri's new AI brain stable enough for everyday users, Google is already putting autonomous browsing agents into the browser. But those agents are clearly still experimental. The theme here is that AI agents are moving from chat boxes into real control over our devices and the web, but reliability and safety are still big open problems. And speaking of safety and the bigger picture, the next story zooms out to the existential side of AI. This news comes from the BBC, as surfaced on Hacker News, and was released on February 12, 2026. According to the BBC article shared on Hacker News, an AI safety leader has resigned from their role, saying the world is in peril and is leaving the field to study poetry. The BBC piece, linked from Hacker News, doesn't just report a career change. It's framed as a kind of warning about the direction of AI development and the emotional toll of working in AI safety. It highlights an ongoing tension. While companies race to roll out new assistants, agents, and AI features, some people inside the field are becoming more pessimistic or burned out, questioning whether current safety efforts are enough or whether the incentives are aligned with long-term human well-being. So we've got rapid deployment like Chrome's auto browse and Apple's Siri reboot contrasted with growing concern from within the safety community. But there's also movement on more practical hands-on AI security tools. This next item comes from Hacker News, pointing to a project by 1Password and was posted on February 12, 2026. The tool is called Scam, and no, that's not a warning, that's the name. It stands for 1Password's open source benchmark for AI security awareness. The link on Hacker News goes to 1Password's GitHub pages site for Scam. The idea is to create a standardized way to test how well AI systems can recognize and respond to common security threats, things like phishing attempts, suspicious URLs, or social engineering patterns. As more people start relying on AI assistants to read emails, summarize content, and even handle sensitive workflows, the question becomes, can these AIs spot scams, or will they fall for them and help spread them? Scam tries to give developers and security teams a benchmark to measure that awareness. It's a more grounded response to AI risk, not just debating existential doom, but actually building tests and metrics that can be integrated into product development. Staying on the security and governance theme, there's another open source tool that popped up. This news also comes from Hacker News and was posted on February 12, 2026. It's called AI-BOM, hosted on GitHub by Trusera. The Hacker News link points to the repository, which describes AI-BOM as a tool to scan your codebase for AI agents, models, and API keys. Think of it as a bill of materials for AI in your software. It looks through your code to find where you're using AI models, calling AI APIs, and potentially leaving sensitive keys around. This is increasingly important now that AI is being woven into every part of the stack, from back-end services to front-end assistants and autonomous agents like Chrome's auto browse. Combined with Scam from 1Password, you can see a pattern. As AI becomes more powerful and more embedded, we're starting to need security tooling specifically designed for AI usage, not just generic app security. Now, let's pivot to something more consumer-facing and a bit more fun: gaming and entertainment powered by the cloud. This news comes from the NVIDIA blog and was released on February 12, 2026. NVIDIA announced that its cloud gaming service, GeForce Now, is celebrating its 6th anniversary this month. As part of the celebration, they are expanding GeForce Now to a new platform, Amazon Fire TV devices. In practical terms, this turns any compatible Fire TV into a kind of cloud-powered gaming rig, streaming PC-quality games from NVIDIA's servers. While the NVIDIA blog post isn't purely about AI, it's closely tied to NVIDIA's broader AI ecosystem. The same GPUs and infrastructure that power large AI models are also powering this kind of high-end game streaming. NVIDIA also mentioned 8 new games being added to the service, keeping the content pool fresh. So while Apple and Google are battling over AI assistants, NVIDIA is quietly pushing the idea that your screen, any screen, can be turned into a powerful machine through the cloud, backed by the same hardware that's driving the AI boom. Next up, let's talk about Amazon, and Alexa, because they are not sitting still either. This news comes from Engadget Tech News and was released on February 12, 2026. Engadget reports that Amazon is launching a new feature called Send to Alexa Plus for the Kindle Scribe and the Kindle Scribe Colorsoft. This is a new AI layer on top of their writing tablets. Here's how it works. On a supported Kindle Scribe, you can send your notebooks and documents directly to Alexa, plus Amazon's upgraded AI assistant. Once they're in Alexa Plus, those notes become available across the Alexa ecosystem on Alexa.com, the Alexa mobile app, and even on Echo and Fire TV devices for Prime members and Alexa Plus subscribers. Alexa Plus can then do AI-powered tasks with your content, summarizing notes, turning them into to-do lists, creating calendar entries, or setting reminders. So, your handwritten scribbles on a Kindle can be transformed into actionable items in your digital life. If you zoom out, this is Amazon's version of the AI assistant war. Instead of just answering questions, Alexa Plus is being positioned as a central brain that connects your devices, your content, and your tasks, similar to what Apple wants Siri to do and what Google is trying with its agents. The big difference is that Amazon is already shipping features that tie directly into your personal documents. Now, let's get a bit more technical for the developers and researchers watching. This news comes from MarkTechPost AI News and was released on February 11, 2026, reported on their site on February 12. MarkTechPost published a tutorial titled How to Build a Matryoshka Optimized Sentence Embedding Model for Ultra-Fast Retrieval with 6-4 Dimension Truncation. The idea here is about making vector embeddings, the representations we use in search and retrieval systems, much more efficient. They use a technique called Matryoshka representation learning with sentence transformers. The key trick: you fine-tune the model so that the earliest dimensions of the embedding carry the most important semantic information. Then, you can truncate the embeddings to shorter lengths like 64, 128, or 256 dimensions and still maintain good retrieval quality. The tutorial walks through training with a Matryoshka loss on triplet data and then benchmarking how well retrieval works after aggressive truncation. Why does this matter? Because as more apps rely on vector databases and semantic search from AI assistants like Alexa Plus and Siri to internal company tools, the cost of storing and searching huge embeddings becomes a bottleneck. Techniques like this let you build much faster, cheaper retrieval systems without sacrificing too much accuracy, which is critical for scaling AI applications to millions or billions of documents. And finally, let's end on something a bit more experimental and creative. This news comes from Hacker News, linking to Nothing's new project, and was posted on February 12, 2026. Nothing, the company known for its transparent smartphones and earbuds, has released something called Playground at Playground. Nothing, tech. According to the Hacker News listing, Playground is a platform for AI-generated apps. The idea seems to be that users can describe what they want, and the system helps generate simple applications through AI. While details are still emerging, it fits into a broader trend. AI isn't just a feature inside apps anymore. It's starting to build the apps themselves. So on one end, we have big tech companies like Apple struggling to ship a single coherent AI assistant, and on the other, we have companies like Nothing experimenting with AI as a way to democratize app creation altogether. Alright, let's tie this all together. Across today's stories, we're seeing three big themes. First, the AI assistant wars are heating up, but they're messy. Apple's Siri reboot, reported by Engadget and Unwire.hk, is delayed and leaning on Google's Gemini. Google's own Chrome Auto Browse agent, covered by Technica, shows both impressive autonomy and glaring reliability issues. Amazon, via Engadget's coverage, is shipping practical assistant features like Send to Alexa Plus on Kindle Scribe today. Second, as AI gets more powerful and more embedded, safety and security are moving from abstract concerns to concrete tools. The BBC story, shared on Hacker News, shows an AI safety leader stepping away, warning that the world is in peril. At the same time, tools like Scam from 1Password and AI-BOM on GitHub, both surface via Hacker News, are giving developers practical ways to test AI security awareness and audit AI usage in codebases. Third, under the hood, the infrastructure and techniques are evolving fast. NVIDIA's GeForce Now expansion to Amazon Fire TV from the NVIDIA blog shows how cloud and GPU infrastructure are turning any screen into a high-performance device. MarkTechPost's tutorial on Matryoshka optimized embeddings shows how we can make retrieval systems faster and cheaper. And Nothing's Playground, highlighted on Hacker News, hints at a future where AI doesn't just power apps, it helps you build them. If you want to dive deeper into any of these stories, check out the original sources: Engadget Tech News for the Siri delay, and Alexa Plus on Kindle, Unwire.hk for the Hong Kong perspective on Apple's AI struggles, Ars Technica for the hands-on with Chrome's auto browse, the BBC for the AI safety resignation story, the NVIDIA blog for GeForce Now updates, MarkTechPost for the Matryoshka embedding tutorial, 1Password's scam page, and the AI-BOM GitHub repo via Hacker News, and Nothing's Playground at Playground Nothing Tech. That's it for today's AI News Roundup for February 13th, 2026. If you found this useful, make sure you subscribe to Know My Go channel for more daily breakdowns of what's actually happening in AI. Not just the hype, but the real tools, trade-offs, and trends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.